Boris Johnson is ringing the alarm bells about Vladimir Putin as loudly as Winston Churchill did about Adolf Hitler. With that, we bring in Nile Gardiner, former advisor to late Margaret Thatcher, director of the Heritage Foundation's Margaret Thatcher Center for Freedom. Am I wrong to make the comparison?
Well, Leland, firstly, thank you very much for having me on the show today. And, I have to say, having just come back from London, that Boris Johnson is doing a tremendous job in terms of standing up to Vladimir Putin. And, Boris is by far the strongest leader in Europe right now, standing up to the Russian bear. And so he is displaying, a fair amount of Churchillian grit. Boris Johnson is a historian. In fact, he wrote a best-selling book on Churchill called The Churchill Factor. He's a big admirer of Winston Churchill. He's also a big admirer of Margaret Thatcher as well. And so
I'm wondering, we'll send him this segment. We'll see if we can't get an interview out of him.
Yes, we'll have to work on that. But I've been very impressed actually with the British Prime Minister's overall leadership on the Ukraine crisis. If you compare, Boris Johnson with the leaders of France and Germany, for example, there's no comparison. I mean, the Germans are just appeasing the Russians. Emmanuel Macron is, swanning around Europe trying to strike some sort of, peace deal with Putin. That's never going to happen. In contrast, you have the British Prime Minister demonstrating strength and resolve on the international stage. And it's very significant that the British actually supplied the Ukrainians with thousands of anti-tank missiles. Yeah. Those missiles are being used right now. And you can watch, a series of clips on YouTube showing the impact of British aid to Ukraine with Russian tanks going up in flames. So that's a demonstration of real support for the Ukrainian people.
Yeah, it's interesting. There was British C-17s flying in almost up until the point that the Russians started bombing, giving the Ukrainians these weapons. This was another thought from Boris Johnson. Here is him talking about how he will, in his words, hobble Russia.
We will agree a massive package of economic sanctions designed in time to hobble the Russian economy. And to that end, we must also collectively cease the dependence on Russian oil and gas.
Are we right to start making this comparison about Macron and the Chancellor of Germany appeasing Vladimir Putin in the way so much of Europe appeased Hitler, and Boris Johnson standing up to Vladimir Putin in the way that Churchill stood up to Hitler, even when the United States wouldn't?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in that. And, the French and the Germans are doing what they do best, which is appease, the Russians, especially the Germans. I mean, the German approach towards Putin has been an absolute disgrace. In fact, the Germans oppose sending any, defensive weapons to the Ukrainians and try to pressure other NATO members to do the same here. And Emmanuel Macron has been, of course, trying to strike a deal with the Russians, and of course he was humiliated by Putin. And so, in contrast, Boris Johnson is displaying the kind of leadership that we have to see. And there's also, I think, far more British leadership in confronting Russia than there is from Joe Biden.
Yeah, no, that's what fascinates me, and that's why I made the Churchillian comparison, because you go back to Churchill in the late 30s, after Chamberlain at Munich, that was the picture we showed, and it was Churchill who was trying to drag America and shake America and say, wake up to this threat, and America just never woke up until it was too late.
It's an excellent point. And I think that, Joe Biden isn't really leading the free world at the moment. In fact, he's sort of hiding in his bunker a lot of the time, and he's off to Delaware this weekend. As the Obama officials would say, that's leading from behind. I would say that Boris Johnson is a far more effective, wartime leader than Joe Biden or any leader in Europe right now. And if you look at what Boris was saying today about kicking Russia out of SWIFT, applying all sorts of tough sanctions against the Russians. He was also talking about sending, thousands of additional troops to the eastern flank of the NATO alliance. He's sending all the right signals and messages right now.
Yeah, you said the exact right word, a wartime prime minister, and that is where we are, a wartime. Do the times make the man, or do the times make the man, or the man makes the times? Niall, good to see you. We appreciate it. Boris Johnson may be one to study at the Margaret Thatcher Center in the coming years. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.